Is kayak bass fishing dead? And no, I'm not talking about the sport of kayak bass fishing. That would be ridiculous. Kayak bass fishing is booming. It's a growing segment of the sport of bass fishing. I'm talking about the organization of kayak bass fishing, or KBF as a lot of people call it. KBF is one of the longest running tournament organizations around right now, but they have had a history, or a checkered past, I guess would be the word for it, of some issues with rules, payouts, prize fulfillments to cities, things like that. Not going to get into all that, but they've had kind of a checkered past, but it's finally kind of caught up to them, it seems, and they've basically gone insolvent. The owner of KBF declared publicly on his YouTube channel a few months back that he was declaring personal bankruptcy. Now it seems that the company or organization itself is on the verge of bankruptcy, if not already bankrupt, because they were unable to pay competitors from a tournament. So the competitors signed up, paid the entry fees to enter a tournament, and they're still sitting holding the bag over a month later with no payout. Thankfully for the anglers, a sponsor, Dakota Lithium, stepped up, whatever you want to say, for the anglers, and is going to pay the anglers directly to make them whole. But that doesn't solve the problem of what happened to all the money within the organization. Not only was KBF unable to fulfill the payouts to the anglers from some of their most recent tournaments, but a lot of their most recent tournaments got canceled for lack of participation. They had a tournament cancel in Michigan. They had a tournament cancel on Grand Lake for no signups. Their last event on the East Coast, on the Potomac, had sparse participation. I think the event had around 50 anglers per day, which is not very high for a national brand. So it looks like KBF is circling the drain here and on its way out. So yet to be seen if they can kind of climb out of this hole that they put themselves in. But that leaves the question, where does that leave some anglers? Because that leaves some anglers in a lurch. The number one reason I hear from people that fish KBF trail events anyway is that's all I have to fish in my area outside of local trails and stuff, because bass, Hobie, larger series don't come all the way to California. They don't go all the way up to the Northeast or just to the East Coast in general as much, or even all the way down into Florida. So those areas could be left in a lurch if KBF folds. So the next part of this is if kayak bass fishing is dead, where does that leave you guys? What's your options for fishing a little bit higher level outside of your local club? And I'm going to give you a few of those. So local club is your first option. And if you have a small local club and KBF goes away and there's no more large events coming to your region, it's a good time to rally the troops and try to grow your local club to make it regional tournament size at the very least. Contrary to popular belief, kayak fishing, kayak bass fishing as a sport is a bottom-up sport, not a top-down sport. Whether the big trails and the big tournaments make it or not, to me, that has no impact on the smaller clubs. They'll be here from now until the end of time. Somebody will be running smaller clubs in your area, even as the big trails come and go, or if they come and go. So it's a bottom-up sport, and there are many local clubs that have grown to participation levels and payout levels that rival some of the national events. So Queen City, kayak fishing on the East Coast there, North Texas Kayak Championships, Moyak in Missouri. I can name a few others, but these are local/regional clubs that pay out and have participation and talent like a national event would. They're paying out over $1,000 an event, $2,000 an event with minimum payouts, big sponsors, 90 to 100 anglers plus at some of these events. So your local trail can fill that void if KBF ceases to exist and cease to come to your area anymore. The other thing, and I think this is a really viable option, is Bassmasters, as everyone knows, has gotten involved in kayak fishing. They kind of limped out of the gate, but it's growing and getting better. They put Steve Owens in charge, and he's doing a great job getting things going over there. It's been a great 2023 so far. So if you don't have a Bass Nation in your state, like we don't have one here in Arkansas, but we're going to try to get one going and get it off the ground, that is a great way to put together a tournament series within your own state or region there, where you can have national qualification implications within your own state and have some larger entry fees, larger payouts, and attract that type of angler to your area, because you don't have to be from your state to fish your state Bass Nation. So I think that's a very, very viable option, is to start a Bass Nation trail or help it grow in your state. The other option is try to entice some of these other large trails to come to your area by showing up when they're close by. So if the Hobie Bass Open Series or the Bassmaster Kayak Series or the All-American Kayak Series, which is, they call themselves a regional series, but I think the way they spread out, it's just about a national series. When they come close by to your area, show up and support the event. Other trails will take notice, and you'll get more of those kind of events close by, if that makes sense. So there you go, guys. I don't know. There's some options if KBF does fold up shop with the live tournament deal that they've been trying to run. It doesn't look good for them. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate y'all as always.